Why aren't you watching the Scott Ford Show?
The razor on my face. Now you gotta hold it up. Hold it up. You know how we tell you to stay in the lines when you're coloring? Same thing. Stay in the lines. Don't be going all up in here. Okay, ready? Come closer. Come here. That's all right. All right, here. Hold it tight. Hold it tight. Here, hold it. Here, I'll do it, and you put your hand on my hand. Okay, ready? And then,
That's easy. That's
yeah.
easy.
Yeah, just go down.
Down.
Don't go against the grain.
Oh, I'm scared.
Okay, you're doing good. All right, now we're ready for a straight razor. Here, and then you go like this. All right, here you go again.
Alright. I can do that, Dad.
Little harder though. I hate to say that. Oh yeah. Okay. Now
Okay.
wipe it off in there again. Like shake it in there. There you go. Yep, just like that. All right. All right.
Alright, here we go, Daddy.
Oh.
Gonna go here.
Yeah, no wait. Well, stay up here.
Alright.
Okay, clean it up.
It's kind of hard.
Alright.
Charlie can't come
Now, there you go. Goatee almost gone.
It's almost done.
Mm-hmm.
This is so cool.
Oh yeah. So you don't go sideways, go up.
Alright, I got it.
Paint the fence. Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. Thanks for tuning into the show. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys mean everything to me. You know, there's a lot of times where you see people making constant excuses, and then they wonder why they can't move their life forward. So in other words, they live in excuses. No matter what, they're going to find an excuse. They're always going to find a way why they cannot accomplish something, why they can't do something. When there's millions, if not billions, of examples of people who have less opportunity, less possible skill. Some people may be held back a little bit with either physical, mental type handicaps, but they still move forward. They still ditch the excuses and they still make things happen. I'm about to show you a video. It's about a 3-minute video, but trust me, it's worth every second to watch this because it applies to the message that I'm about to preach today. You cannot make excuses. You can't live in excuses. Plus, this video may even make you teary. It definitely brought tears to my eyes, but it drives the point home that if you live in a world of excuses, if you're constantly ready to make an excuse, I kind of look at it as like that Juan Epstein from Welcome Back, Kotter. He always had an excuse. He always had a fake note from his mom why he was late for class. And I think I look at that sometimes, and I look at people who live their life like that. They're constantly making excuses instead of just zip it, get to work on yourself, and make things happen. So watch this video. You might want to grab a tissue, and it may bring some tears to your eyes, but pay attention to the drive, the motivation that this young man has. It's a very inspirational video. And I'll be right back to discuss further, and then, of course, provide more content. Watch this video.
Yeah! Finish it! Go, 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 go! Do it! Go! Good job. First time doing clean and presses. Come on. It's a 100-meter pull. Let's go. How'd that feel?
Terrible.
We do it. Weighted planks?
Yeah.
Why you doing weighted planks, Miles?
Yeah, I was drinking my cooler.
Yeah. Keep pressing. Just keep pressing. Attaboy. We do it. Rowing. Gently down the stream. Violently. Better.
Now, me personally, I don't know how anyone can watch that video and not get a sense of drive and motivation to take your life further. Miles has every, I don't want to necessarily say right, but he has reason to make excuses. He has reason to maybe say, I can't do it, and he's going to settle for that. He's a prime, perfect example of someone who said, listen, I have these limitations in my life, but I'm not going to live here. I'm going to live here. I'm going to push myself further than my expectations would normally allow him to be. You know, I think people would probably, for the most part, think, well, he's only supposed to perform here because of his physical and possible mental type limitations. But this guy drives my point home. It's you push the excuses to the side. They don't exist. You find a way. If there isn't a door, you break a hole through the wall, you make a door. Perfect example of that. That is the type of drive that it takes to move your life forward. So you can sit in excuses and say, it can't be done, I can't do it, or you can absolutely refuse defeat and you can make things happen. He's living his dream because he refuses to be held back by his limitations. His limitations are just, basically it's a mindset. He's refusing to accept limitations. He's saying, I have these limitations, but they don't mean anything to me. I'm going to break a barrier and I'm going to create the life I want to live. It's a no excuse mentality that makes your life worth living. Think about it, everyone. I say this all the time. We get one life as far as we know here on this planet. And why settle for anything other than the best that you could possibly be and produce results that are like that? I don't understand how people live in just content, but they're miserable. And what I mean by that is, I know so many people that complain about their life, complain about their situation, and that's all they do. But they never take steps towards changing their environment, changing where they're at. So they're fine with complaining about it. I'm not happy. This sucks, so on and so forth. But they stay there. If you're not happy with where you're at, it's up to you to get off your ass and change it. Don't wait for anybody else. Don't wait for opportunity to fall out of the sky. Because most of the time it's not going to happen. Yes, there's some people who are lucky. There are circumstances where things just happen for somebody. But there's a big high chance that it's not you, it's not me. You've got to kick those doors down and you've got to make it happen. I encourage you to watch that video again. Get inspired by it, because you should be. Miles is an inspiration, and I love his story. I love him. Awesome, awesome, awesome guy. You know, we do more right in a day than we do wrong. And I think that's an important thing, because I think a lot of people live in this mindset of the expectations of, you know, you kind of think, well, that never happens. Well, but it's going to happen to me, or this always happens to me, or why does my life suck? Or my daughter, I caught my daughter the other day. Now, she's a little kid, but she said, I don't even remember honestly what she did or said, but she said something like, why am I so stupid? And I said, because you just said that. That's why. Like, you're not stupid, but because of the fact that you just basically proclaimed it as like an identity. Why am I so stupid? You're calling yourself stupid. So you're going to produce stupid results. Now, trying to talk to my daughter about it is a little difficult sometimes, because she's a child. But I said, don't put that out there. Don't say you're stupid. Yeah, you may have done a stupid thing, but you're not stupid. In fact, I remember exactly what it was now. She couldn't find the remote. She's the last one who had it. So at first, I was refusing to help her. I said, and she was freaking out a little bit. And she couldn't find the remote. She's going crazy, and she's acting up a bit. I said, I'm not going to help you find it, because you're the last one who had it, so you should be able to find it. And again, I'm not trying to raise someone who's going to be part of this whole cancel culture thing. So I said, find it. And after a while of her freaking out, not being able to find it, and I said, I bet you within 30 seconds I can find the remote. And now I didn't know where it was, but I just, you know, deductive reasoning, I figured out where she was, where she had it last. I'm going to find this remote. She said, no, Dad, it's gone. You're never going to find it. I said, okay. And sure enough, I mean, it was probably within 10 seconds I found the remote. It was underneath a blanket that she was laying under. Shocking. And then she said, why am I so stupid? And I said, you're not stupid. You just did something stupid. There's a difference. There's a big difference. You're actually quite intelligent, but you need to change your mindset. You're constantly telling yourself you can't find the remote. In your mind, it was a command to your mind. Your mind said, okay, you can't find the remote. Fine, you can't find the remote. It almost blocks it from you. How many times have we seen things like this where you can't find your car keys? I can't find my keys. I can't find my keys. Where are my keys? And they're in your hand. Or I can't find my sunglasses, but you're actually wearing them. You're giving yourself commands that you can't find it. You don't know where it is. You can, it's just change your mindset a little bit. Open up those doors to the possibility of, I know I'm going to find my keys. I know where they are. I just haven't found them yet. Chances are you'll probably find them a little bit quicker. There's a magical thing going on that I don't think any of us can quite understand or explain, but I've got a good story to back it up. And by the way, this kind of thing happens to me all of the time. All of the time. I tell my wife, I think I'm psychic. I really do think I'm psychic. It happens all the time. I might mention something. Now, I'm sure this happens to a lot of people too, but I may mention something, and then 2 hours later, whatever I was talking about shows up, you know. And I know a lot of people might relate this to like the phone. Like a lot of times we talk about something and then it shows up on a Facebook feed or something like that. But I'm talking about something a little bit deeper than that. Once again, this happens all the time. I'm walking my dog in the morning. No reason whatsoever. None. I can't even relate to how this popped into my head. But Will Forte, comedic actor, he was on SNL, funny guy. He had a show, Last Man on Earth, I think it was called. It was a good show. It was a funny show. Couldn't tell you why I started thinking of Will Forte as I'm walking my dog. I'm not a huge fan. I do like him, but I'm not someone who obsesses over Will Forte. Haven't thought about him in months, but for some reason I think of Will Forte, and I thought of like the show Last Man on Earth, I think it was Last Man on Earth. See, I don't even know the name of the show. That's how much I don't necessarily think about Will Forte. Although I do like him, although he is funny. He on the show, he had like a half-shaved head and half beard. So like part of his face was completely bald and head was bald, and the other part had long hair and a long beard. I was thinking that as I'm walking my dog. Again, I can't tell you why. I just was. all right? Later on in the day, my daughter's watching a show called Lab Rats right now on Disney. It's streaming, so she doesn't watch it live. This particular episode could have played anytime, any day, months from now or months ago, right? We're sitting in our living room. My daughter's playing an episode of Lab Rats. And who's on the episode? Will Forte. I'm like, I was just thinking of Will Forte this morning. And my wife's like, why were you thinking of him? I'm like, I couldn't even tell you why. He just popped into my head. And then hours later, my daughter randomly plays an episode of Lab Rats, and he's on it. And to my knowledge, he's never been on it before. I've never seen Will. I'm like, why is Will Forte on Lab Rats? I've never seen him on the episode before. To my knowledge, he's never been on an episode that I've seen. And I'm pretty confident I can say that. Yet there he is. Again, once there's something magical that we can't explain. Unexplainable. Why did I think of Will Forte? And then hours later, he shows up on a streaming show that could have been played anytime. Same day, just a few hours later. Can't explain that. But that kind of thing happens all the time. I love that. I just wish I could understand more about that. I also don't understand deja vu. There's got to be something to that. A lot of people think it's because we're reliving life again. There's many theories. Who knows what's true? I don't know what's true. But what is deja vu? It's a weird thing, and that kind of relates to that, I guess, in a weird way. I was at Red Robin with my daughter, and we were having a daddy-daughter date, and they have bottomless fries there. And I got done eating my meal and my fries, and my daughter ate some of her fries, but there were still a lot left. The waitress comes over and she says, do you want more fries, to me? And I said, nah, because they're bottomless fries. I'm like, nah, I'll just eat my daughter's. And she's like, you sure? It's free, it's included, it's bottomless. I was like, yeah, but she's got fries here. I hate waste. I can't stand waste. It would have been no more money for me. Just the idea in my head of actually ordering more fries when my daughter had fries, and I'm like, nah, I'll just eat my daughter's. And literally the waitress was like, you sure? Like, I'll get you more. And I'm like, nah, she's got fries here. She's not eating them. I'll eat these. I can't stand waste. If there's like, it's not a cheap thing either. It's truly not. If someone throws a bottle of water, let's say in my house, or they're gonna throw it away, and there's like even just a little bit left, I have to take it and dump it into the dog bowl. The thought of just waste drives me insane. And I'm glad that I have that quality. I don't know where necessarily or where it came from, but I'm glad that I have it because, and again, quite honestly, it's not about money. If a case of water cost a penny, I would still be like that. If it was free, if someone just put a case of water on my porch every week, I would still have that mentality, even if I didn't pay a penny for it. I don't like waste. I don't like the idea of waste. Waste bothers me. I'm the same type, like if I come home and there's a light left on in the house, it drives me insane. I don't like that. I don't like waste of any way, shape, or form. Loading the dishwasher. That is a particular skill that I have that I'm actually really good at. I'm expert level dishwasher loader and put-awayer, if that's a word, put-awayer. And it's kind of like Tetris. I look at like loading the dishwasher a lot like playing Tetris, because a lot of times you might think, no, the dishwasher's full, and I'm like, hold up, step back. I guarantee I can arrange a couple things and get a couple more bowls in here or cups in here or something. So stand back, let me add it. Expert at dishwashing. Expert at loading the dishwasher. Can you imagine if you put that like on, if you're applying for a job that had nothing to do with washing dishes, like you're not applying for a dishwasher position, but some kind of management, and you said, hey, I'm really good at loading the dishwasher. That'd be a funny one. Why is everybody in my bathroom? You ever notice no one celebrates when people gain weight? So imagine, if you will, someone's overweight. You don't see them for 3 months, and then you see them, and they're slim, and they're trim, and they've lost a tremendous amount of weight, and they look really good. And then everyone, oh my gosh, look at how good you look. You look younger, you look this. It's nothing but compliments, right? Think of the reverse for just a moment. you never see someone who gains 30 pounds and then you're like, wow, look at you, you've gained a lot of weight, you look great, you're like your shirt's about to bust open, you look incredible. It just never happens. It's an odd thing, and I'm not fat shaming, it's just an observation. I love observation. So it is funny, someone loses weight, it's nothing but compliments, nothing but how did you do it, you look younger, you look great, you look fantastic, oh my gosh, look at you. And then gaining weight, everyone's just kind of like, ooh. And then they seem to talk about them when they leave the room, like, they gain quite a bit of weight. Just an observation, take it for whatever you want. You ever have anything that used to freak you out, but it no longer does? And I have one, I have a good example. I don't know what it was. I'm OCD about a few things. And one of the things I was extremely OCD about, but it no longer bothers me, I couldn't tell you why. Lint from the dryer used to freak me out. I couldn't touch it. I couldn't get anywhere near it. I would literally get freaked out about it. I don't know if I thought there was like microscopic bugs in it. I never overthought it. I never thought about it much. I just know that it freaked me out. Years ago when I lived like in an apartment complex, and you would have to, you'd put your stuff in the dryer and someone else had taken their stuff out already, but I'd lift the screen and there'd be lint in there, and I'd be like, oh gosh. So I'd lift the screen out carefully and bang it over the garbage to get the lint off. I couldn't touch it. God forbid, I couldn't like scrape it off with my hand and then throw it away. Now I can. And I don't know what happened. I don't know why I was so freaked out about lint in the dryer. I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing. But it almost is like now I could rub it on myself and it wouldn't bother me. It has no effect on me whatsoever anymore. But it did at one point. Completely unexplainable why I was so weirded out by. What are some of the things? I'd like to see some of these in the comments. Like some of the things that freak you out. Now, as an example, I know some people don't like when someone takes the fingers across a chalkboard. That doesn't bother me. But I know some people it does. I know some people the crunching of styrofoam bothers them. It doesn't bother me. Some people, like if you take a fork and you scrape it on a plate, that gets them crazy. That kind of thing doesn't bother me for some reason. Lint used to, doesn't anymore. I don't know if I necessarily have anything. I'm a little OCD, kind of like with door handles, I guess, in a way. Like very public door handles, I rarely touch. I usually will take my sleeve kind of thing and open the door, if it's possible, use my foot. I certainly in public never touch a toilet in any way, shape, or form, especially when flushing, use the foot all the time. What are some of your hang-ups? What are some of the things that freak you out a little bit? Or possibly, what are some of the things that used to freak you out, but they no longer do? I thought of an interesting thought. What if Steve Jobs had never been born? Would phones exist the way that they do now? It's an interesting question. It's an interesting thought process. I read a biography on Steve Jobs, one of the best books I've ever read, by the way. And it really went deep on his mindset, how he just kept pushing. I guess another way to also present it too, if Steve Jobs were still alive, where would we be? How much different would things be if he were still alive? And think of life before cell phones as we know them now, with the internet, with streaming, with things like that. Good or bad? And I think it's probably the answer to that is both, good and bad. I certainly like when things were simpler, a simpler time. Things are just so easy now. And I wonder how much that's going to affect and hurt us in the long run. I'll give you an example. ADD. My daughter, she's part of this new generation where phones in her lifetime have always existed the way they do now. Internet on the phones and things like that. I know that ADD is a big thing and it's going to affect generations going forward, because my daughter cannot sit through a 2-hour movie. It's impossible. She just can't do it. It's like the most impossible thing for her. And I think it's because she's programmed YouTube video type things where quick segments, 5-minute videos, very quick, and streaming, of course. We used to have to, back in my day when I was a young lad, we used to have to sit through, you'd watch it. First of all, there was no rewind. There was no skipping commercials. It was, you watch it, and then the commercial comes on, and you better run back in before the commercial's over. Now you can watch whatever, The Grinch Stole Christmas. You could watch it in July if you wanted to. But before, I remember when Wizard of Oz used to play once a year, and it was a tremendous event because you watched it then, and that was it. And if you didn't make it back by the time commercial was over, there was no pause, there was no stop. It's playing whether you're there or not. So I think there was a bit of, I have to be here at this time, where we've lost that. Like, I can watch it anytime. So ADD, I think, is going to be a big thing because I know I can see it in my daughter. I can already see how things are. Things are quick, things are fast now. I also wonder too, I think this might be an interesting thought. Think about back when, I don't know how the ages of, I know various ages people listen to the show, but think about back when you were a child, or at least most people that are probably listening to this. We had to research things. So if you had a paper due and a report due, you'd have to go research. You'd have to go to the library. You'd have to get a few books. You'd have to reference things. Now you can just talk into Siri and you get the information you're looking for like that, very quickly. Research. I wonder how that's going to affect problem-solving skills going forward in life. Really think about that for a second. Because it's almost like people are being programmed now in a way that's not going to lead to good problem-solving skills. So I wonder if problem-solving skills are going to decline because of that. Kind of like my daughter with the remote. She just thought the remote should instantly appear. And that's not how it works. If you focus on the solution and not the problem. So I wonder if those kind of things are going to diminish and decline, and that scares me a little bit. And I think that's directly related to phones. I almost wish we could go back. And then there's other parts of me that, look, I'm terrible at directions. And I know most men won't admit that. I do admit it. I'm terrible at directions. So I love to be able, if I'm driving somewhere I'm not familiar with, just to speak into my phone the address, and then guess what? It tells me exactly where to go. I love that. It even gives me a time when I'm going to arrive. That's awesome. I love that kind of thing. But there's certain things where I think it's just, we've made things too easy. And I know that sounds odd because we want things to be easy, but at the same time, I guess maybe that's why in the morning I walk myself. I walk the dog in the cold weather, 18-degree weather, shorts and a t-shirt. This morning, as an example, we were hit with a snowstorm, and shorts and a t-shirt, and I was out shoveling the driveway in just shorts and a t-shirt. I like to push myself like that. And I think we all need to, and I think we all should, and we shouldn't get to a place of just making things too easy. Sometimes purposely make things a little bit more difficult. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. I live in a 2-story home, for example, and I purposely, if I have to use the restroom, I purposely go upstairs to the master bedroom and use that bathroom, as opposed to using the one on the same level. Why? I could just use the one on the main level. It's 20 feet away, whatever, 30 feet away. But I purposely go to the one that's further away. And I'm not talking about, I can make a joke like, oh yeah, because you don't want things to stink up. No, I'm talking about number one. I just do it. I just go further. I like to push myself a little bit further. And that I've done it so many times, and I just do it like that, where I'm just programmed, where I don't even think about it. I just instantly go to the one upstairs. Things like that. I know there's even other examples where, like, I need something and I can grab this and this now, and I'll just grab one and I'll go, I should take that down because I need it later. And I'll go, well, I want to be able to go upstairs and grab it for later. Like, I want to have that extra trip later. Don't make things too easy for yourself, and don't make excuses. And I really think that video that I played earlier of Miles is very important, and I think you should watch it again. Because if you have the mindset of just being content, hopefully that will help you rise above that. All right, everyone. Something to leave you laughing with as I roll out the show. Have a magical day. Share the show. Subscribe on YouTube. The Scott Ford Show on YouTube. Subscribe, and share. Share the show. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. Alexa, can I hear a fart?
You have Big Fart enabled. Do you want to open it?
Yes, I do want to open it.
Welcome to Big Fart. Would you like me to fart?
Yes, I would like you to fart, Alexa. Ooh.
That was a cheeky one. Try asking me for a difficult fart.
Ooh.
Or say random.
Wait, I want to hear difficult. Can I hear difficult fart, Alexa?
That was a quick toilet one. Try asking me for a random fart or try a 10 seconds
Alexa.
fart countdown.
Do the loudest fart in the world.
That was a deep one.
Ooh, deep one.
Try asking me for a hard fart.
A deep fart. Ooh,
Or
can I...
say random.
Alexa, can I hear a hard fart?
Here comes a pushing hard fart. I have another one brewing.
Can I do?
Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
I want to do.
That was a lovely one.
Ooh, it
Would
was
you like
lovely.
to hear another fart?
Sure. Any day now, Alexa.
The maximum length of the fart countdown is 30 minutes.
What?
Try asking for a shorter amount of time on your fart
Alexa.
countdown.
Do a chicken fart.
Chicken farts are in the Extreme Farts pack. Would you like to learn more?
No, I just want to hear a fart. Oh, good one,
That was
Alexa.
a wet and squeaky one.
Yeah, it was wet and
Do
squeaky.
you want me to fart?
Sure. Ooh.
That was a funky one.
Yeah, it was funky.
Try asking me for a hard fart.
We already
or
heard
say
hard.
random.
Why aren't you subscribed to the Scott Ford Show?
Oh yeah, why am I not? Oh, yep, there it is. Right on.
Daddy, Daddy, you're so awesome. Daddy, Daddy, you're so cool. Yeah!